What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you the only stretch that you need for planche. The planche is mainly a strength move, and that should be your main priority if you're trying to learn this skill. However, there is one area in our body that we need to stretch in order to get that straight line planche with a full posterior pelvic tilt and our lines fully in line with the rest of our body. And that area is going to be our hip flexor. The stretch that I'm going to show you right now is going to be against the wall. Of course, I'm going to show you all the modifications and variations that you can do depending on your own level. But basically what we're looking in a planche, is the position, is to create full hip extension, meaning that our hips are open and at 180 degrees with a posterior pelvic tilt. So we are not arching, but we're actually keeping the posterior pelvic tilt, rotating the pelvis in this direction, and then pushing the hips forward with the help of our glutes and our hamstrings to create that straight line. So the stretch that we're going to be doing is going to be against the wall. We're going to be stretching the quads. The quads are beneficial because it will release the hip flexors, namely the iliopsoas complex, which crosses the hip joint, but the quad is also a knee extensor. So when we flex the knee, we're stretching the quad, and it is useful first of all because it releases the psoas once we stretch to the psoas, and it also helps you get into half lay positions, which imagine a planche. Once you raise it up overhead with the knee flex, that would be the half lay position. So we want to take care of the quads, the entire 4 quad muscles, as well as the iliopsoas, which is a hip flexor, and also the rectus femoris, one of the muscles of the quad, is another hip flexor. So those are all the muscles that we're going to be taking care of with this little sequence. You're going to get the knee as close to the wall as possible, but you're going to begin with at least 2 hands further distance to place the knee and start there and see how it feels first. Once you're here, you're gonna try to get that foot on top in a plantar flex position. So this is dorsiflex, you're gonna put it on a plantar flex. Once you get it there, you're gonna use your hands to bring the other foot forward, and you're set up in this kind of a low lunge position, supporting your back foot with the wall. From here, you're going to simply, for some people, you're actually just gonna feel the stretch right here. That's why I have a couple of blocks right here. You're gonna start with the blocks simply, and you're gonna lean forward right here. What the main purpose and what I want you guys to do is keeping that posterior pelvic tilt that we talked about at the beginning, rotating the hips forward throughout the entirety of all the movement that I'm gonna be mentioning. So strong posterior pelvic tilt, that means that we're engaging our core as well as our glutes. From here, your hands might be on the block, and what I want you to do is simply lean back first until you feel the stretch on your quads. If you don't feel it, you're simply gonna bring the knee closer back, where I'm gonna be demonstrating that in a bit. After you hold it for like 30 to 60 seconds, sending the weight back, you're gonna keep that posterior pelvic tilt, an upright posture, and you're gonna simply send the hips forward without arching, but keeping that posterior pelvic tilt to really focus on the hip flexors and reduce the lumbar extension, and simply holding it for again 30 to 60 seconds. So 30 to 60 seconds right here, sending like the hips back to focus more on the quadricep muscles, and then sending the hips forward to focus more now on the psoas. If this is good enough for you, you can remove the blocks, and our goal is to get the knee as close to the wall as possible. Again, you might begin here, then you might move it here. The stretching is very individual, so when you put it in a position that you, first of all, you feel the stretch, second of all, you're able to keep that posterior pelvic tilt, and third, you are able to relax. If all of these modifications are way too intense, we're gonna actually be seeing an easier variation at the end of the video. From here, the heel doesn't go to the outside. I would put the leg into internal rotation. I want the heel to be directly behind my butt. So you are in this plantar flex position. From here, get the heel to be right below the knee. Doesn't really matter, you can put it a little bit front, but just helps for stability. You might also have something here to support yourself, so you don't have to focus on balance, so maybe a pole right here, or you can also use the wall. From here, first step, posterior pelvic tilt, then send your entire weight back, not your upper back, so no arching on the upper back, but actually your entire body basically more knee flexion, so closing this gap right here to really focus on the quads. You're gonna hold this for 30, 60, even 90 seconds. Then you're gonna keep that posterior pelvic tilt and you're gonna do the same motion we did there, which is sending the hips forward without arching. One more time, I know I'm saying it a lot, but keep that posterior pelvic tilt, an upright posture. The only thing that is moving is the hips forward to really focus on that iliopsoas complex. 30 to 60 seconds here, 30 to 90 seconds here, then 30 to 90 seconds here. Then you simply place your hands, bring the other knee to the same distance that the other knee was, bring the foot forward, and do the same. Posterior pelvic tilt, 30 to 90 seconds on the quad stretch, 30 to 90 seconds on the hip flexor stretch. If you want to spice it up a little more, you can do some PNF work by pressing with the top of the feet towards the wall for about 5 to 10 seconds, contracting that muscle, and then simply relaxing into the stretch. That's basically it for the wall. Now, if you try the wall version and you are unable to keep a posterior pelvic tilt, you are unable to relax, because here we're working on simply passive flexibility to unlock the flexibility of the quads and the flexibility of the iliopsoas, to eventually then work on the strength of our hamstrings and our glutes to raise our legs up, which I'm gonna be mentioning at the end of the video. So let's say that you cannot really relax on this stretch right here. You wanna try the prone version, which is simply laying down on your chest, on your stomach. You're gonna place the forearm on the opposite side that you're twisting, about a 45-degree angle. You're gonna bring the opposite leg back. You're gonna rotate back. You're gonna grab the ankle. First things first, posterior pelvic tilt, and then simply use your hands to get the quad towards you. This is gonna be the first version, which focuses mostly on the quad, and then you can, keeping that posterior pelvic tilt, you can begin to drive the hips forward, so hip extension, to again focus more on the psoas. I will use this variation for a couple of weeks until your body begins to open up, your quads begin to naturally open up, and then you're able to do the version at the wall. If you're unable to reach with the hand on the prone version, I would recommend that you grab a strap, and even if you can grab the foot, the strap will allow you, so maybe the twisting, you're also getting a back bend. It's very hard to actually minimize the lumbar extension here, so maybe having the strap right here will actually allow you to relax and focus more on the stretch in the area that you want to stretch. So start here. If this one is too hard, then move on to the wall. Do your best to get the knee as close to the wall as possible, and that will give you the flexibility on your quads as well as on your hip flexors to eventually have that straight line planche. Now, for some people, you might have the flexibility. How do you know that? If your knee is super close to the wall and you basically can put your torso back towards the wall, that means that you have a good amount of flexibility and you might be lacking strength. Again, for the planche, number one is shoulder, scapula, and everything that is regardless to the upper body, but the lower body is also important. We want to be able to raise our legs. No, it's not our lumbar spine that raises our legs, that will put our pelvis in anterior pelvic tilt. We want to use our glutes and our hamstrings. So a good test for that to see if you have the strength after you have developed the flexibility is getting to a quadruped position, posterior pelvic tilt as much as possible, so my lower back is flat, and from here raise one leg up, keeping the posterior pelvic tilt, so no arching, but keeping that posterior pelvic tilt, and see if you can get the leg in line with your spine. If you're working on half lay, this would be half lay. If you're working on straddle, you can do this. If you're working on full, you can do this, and get the leg as parallel to the ground as possible without losing that posterior pelvic tilt, which is the main goal of the planche. That's it for this video. I wanted to keep it short with a little stretch, and basically the only area that truly requires flexibility, and we've gotten this question a lot, is going to be your hip flexors and your quads. If you're looking for a program and individual workouts for the planche and front lever, because this stretch also applies for the front lever, that do not overlook these little factors of flexibility, which are very, very small, but that's the difference between a good planche and a very, very good and clean planche. You can join the SM Academy and you get full access to an entire library of courses and everything that is the universe of the SM Academy. The winners from last video giveaway are going to be shown right here. And you guys just won 3 months for free as a premium membership to the SM Academy, full access to entire library of courses, workout programs, or individual moves so you can create your own workouts, our HIIT section, our calisthenics skills section, our mobility and flexibility protocol section, our hybrid home workout experience so you can work out at home, and basically everything that is in the universe of the SM Academy. Remember that we post every Thursday at 12 p.m. EST, and if you comment within the first 60 minutes of the video, you get a chance to win the giveaway. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment down below what else would you like to see on this channel, and we'll see you all next week. Much love. Miami Heat is fucking real, bro. What the heck? Hiya!